Alright, so I'm looking at the test review, question number 7. I think it can be a little bit difficult to see if this should be a reflection in the y or if it's a reflection in the x. So before we look at this one, if we remember back to either the 1.1 or 1.2 worksheet, that was the page that was like the big chart. What we would have seen then, if we just have y equals x, we know that it looks like this. If we have y equals, so it said graph the parent, and then it said graph a reflection in the x, and then it said graph a reflection in the y. Now, if we remember that back to that page, what we found is if we had a reflection across the x or in the x, that essentially this half comes here and this half comes here, so it would look like this. Now if we had a reflection in the y, essentially what happens is that this half comes here and this half comes over here. So it also would look like this. So when it comes to our lines, because this is a linear equation here, really a reflection in the x and a reflection in the y are the same thing, or have the same effect. Now, when we look at these problems and we're trying to decide maybe like what order things happened in or something like that, then we can think about it like this. We start with x, our parent function. Now, there are two ways you could go. If you want to think about it like you take x and multiply the whole thing by a negative, well, if we multiply our whole function by a negative, that would be a reflection in the x. If we want to think about it like we take our x and we apply that negative directly to it, well, then that would be a reflection in the y. So either one is correct, just depending on how you want to approach that problem. I would take either of these answers. Now I think this -2, I mean, we all can agree and can see pretty quickly that that is down 2 from the parent function. But I do see how this negative here could be a little bit tricky. And like I said, you really could list either one, reflection in the x or reflection in the y, and it would be correct. So hopefully that clears things up instead of confuses things more, but that is how we would look at that problem.